What's up, Smart Homers? My name's Aaron, and in this video I want to show you the Govee Glide Y lights, one of the most epic lighting solutions I've ever seen. If you didn't see my video about it, I actually went to CES this year, and these are one of the lights I saw in Govee's booth, and I was super interested in them, so I reached out to Govee, and they sent me some to check out. Out of the box, you get a pack of accessories, a box containing a power brick, but most importantly, the Y lights themselves. Each light has a Y-shaped design with a translucent strip on the middle of each arm. The back side of the light is made up of translucent material, which produces a really cool effect that you're going to see in a second. The lights each have 3 arms, and each arm has a connector on it. But one of the arms has a different connector than the other 2, and that indicates that it's the input arm and not an output arm. You can also see adhesive pads on the back of each light for mounting them to the wall. The accessories pack has some alcohol prep pads, a quick start guide, some support paper, and a user manual. It also has the Govee controller with its 3 clicky buttons, and you can see the connector on the end is a special style. It comes with all the connector pieces that you're going to need, including one corner connector, so you can wrap these around the corner of a wall, some extra adhesive, and a bubble level. The box with the power adapter has just that, a 36 volt, 24 amp power supply. To install these lights, we're going to first need to plan out a pattern on the wall. In the box, there are these cardboard Y-shaped pieces that are the size of the lights, and we can use these with some scotch tape to create a plan on the wall. Then we'll begin installing them. For the first light, you snap in one of the connector pieces to the input arm first, and then you can install it on the wall. To do that, we'll peel off the backing from the adhesive pads and mount it on the wall in the spot where that first light in the chain will go. You need to remember to mount it so that the data in arm, where we've added that connector, is facing the correct way, because that's where the controller cable is going to be connected. The provided bubble level can be used to make sure that you're mounting it in a level way. Press the light firmly against the wall to seat it, and then slide the next connector piece into the arm that you want to connect from next. Take the next light, remove the adhesive backing paper, line it up, and use your palm to push on it and snap it into place on the exposed connector. Now just repeat this for the rest of the lights. Note that since each light has 1 input but 2 outputs, you can split them like I did here. Once it's all connected, you can then connect the controller to the input side of that first light in the chain, and then connect the power supply. Alright, so now we'll quickly go through the app setup as well as some features in the app. Just a reminder that I've left a link in the description for this device if you're interested to check them out. The light is usually automatically discovered in the Govee app, so you just tap to add it and follow the instructions. It'll walk you through this installation process that I just showed you, and there's even a really good video on how to do it. And then it'll calibrate the setup to make sure each light is connected in order and functioning properly. Once connected, you can go through all the different preset effects in the Govee app. The first tab you have is music mode, which allows you to use the controller's microphone or your phone's microphone to sync the lighting effects to music. It has some pretty cool effects, probably my favorite being energetic, which acts like an EQ visualizer. Here are some of the others. The next tab is color, which allows you to set a solid color for each light. You tap each light that you want to change, and then you select the color for those lights. This is pretty cool, but obviously not nearly as cool as some of the effects that are built in. The next tab is scene, which has some pretty dope effects. My favorite is the ocean scene because it goes really well with the blue scene I use in my office, and here are a bunch of the other ones that I think are cool. The last tab is DIY, which allows you to create DIY effects. It takes some time to learn how to use it, but you can create almost whatever you want. I created one similar to the ocean effect, but with purple rather than blue, so it can go with my purple office scene in Home Assistant. Speaking of Home Assistant, I think you'll be thrilled to hear that these lights work locally with Home Assistant. I'm going to quickly explain how to add these to Home Assistant, but if you don't care about Home Assistant, just skip forward to my final thoughts about the Y lights. You're going to need to enable LAN control in the app first and foremost, so tap the device, tap settings in the upper right hand corner, and then toggle on the LAN control option. To get this device into Home Assistant, we're going to install a third-party add-on, but that add-on is going to need an API key from Govee. While we're still in the Govee app, tap the profile icon, then tap settings in the upper right corner, and then tap the apply for API key. Fill out your name and the reason for the request and submit it. In a few minutes, you should receive an email with your API key. We're going to use a custom add-on, like I said, and this one is called Govee to MQTT. This add-on is going to require you to already have an MQTT broker set up in use with Home Assistant. If you don't have one set up, it's actually not that hard to do, and there are lots of videos out there on YouTube to show you how to do it. I recommend using the Mosquito add-on for Home Assistant, as it makes the rest of the setup process super easy, and that's what I use. Once that's done, copy this link that I'll leave in the description to this repository for the Govee to MQTT add-on. Head over to Home Assistant and then click Settings, Add-ons, and then click Add-on Store in the bottom right corner. Click the three-dot menu in the top right, click Repositories, and then paste in the link that you just copied. Click Add, and the repository should show in the list, and then you can click Close. If you don't see Govee to MQTT in the list here in the store now, refresh your browser, and after that you should see it show up. Click on it and click Install. Once it's installed, you're going to click the Configuration tab at the top of the page. You're going to turn on the optional configuration toggle, and you're going to fill out all the fields that show up. You'll fill in your Govee account email address, password, and the API key that you got in your email. If you use the Home Assistant Managed Mosquito add-on for MQTT, you could skip all the rest of the fields. Otherwise, you're going to need to fill them out with your MQTT information. Scroll all the way to the bottom, click the Save button, and then click the Info tab at the top. Click Start to start the add-on, and then head to Devices and Services in the Settings menu. Reload your browser and then check to see if your Govee devices are showing up in the MQTT integration. If you don't see them there, wait a little bit, refresh your browser, and try again. It takes a little bit for the devices to be discovered. And that should be it. Your Y lights should now be in Home Assistant. Here you can see that the Y lights have shown up, and if we click on one, we can see the controls that are provided. We get a light entity for the entire set of Y lights, and then a bunch of other entities to control the segments of the Y lights. The segment entities don't appear to do anything, so I guess the individual segment control part of this integration doesn't work right now. You can still use the light entity though to set a solid color, or choose one of the many effects from the app. Even the music modes work really well, which is cool to be able to set music mode from Home Assistant. One issue is that these DIY effects that you create don't show up as an option, so if you create your own custom effect, you can't set that from Home Assistant, at least not that I can see. Overall, I think that these lights look really awesome. And the look you get with that translucent backing material giving off that glow is really hard to get if you were to build your own with WLED and 3D printing. While I would like to see something like this controlled with WLED, the fact that Govee allows local control via the LAN option is super exciting and really cool to see from a mainstream brand. I think with a little bit of effort, there could be a Govee integration for Home Assistant natively supported. Again, I've left a link for these devices in the description if you're interested. Anyway, that's pretty much it for this video. Feel free to leave a comment, let me know what you think of these Y lights, and if you want to see more LED lighting options like I've shown here, definitely hit the subscribe button, especially since I'll have some more Govee videos coming out. Anyway, thanks for watching. See ya.